Adjusting to the role of a stepmother has been a journey marked by patience and tentative steps towards understanding. When I married my husband, I embraced not only a partner, but his teenage son from a previous marriage. This new chapter meant navigating the complexities of a blended family where connections are carefully built on new ground. From the beginning, I was keenly aware of the delicate balance required to foster a relationship with my stepson. He was initially reserved, his loyalty to his mother clear, and his acceptance of me into their established lives cautious. Recognizing the need for space and patience, I focused on creating an atmosphere of openness and support, hoping to slowly bridge the emotional distance between us. Our home became the setting for this slow dance of relationship building. It was here that I tried to weave together the strands of our separate lives into a tapestry that felt inclusive and warm. I introduced small traditions and routines designed to include him, from game nights that encouraged lighthearted competition to meals where we could share stories from our days. In these early days, I found myself learning as much about him as he was undoubtedly learning about me. Each interaction was an opportunity to demonstrate my respect for his space and his feelings. I listened more than I spoke, understanding that my role was to be there when he was ready to open up. This approach was not without its challenges. There were moments of awkward silence and missed connections, times when I felt the gap between us might be too wide to bridge. But with each small breakthrough, each shared laugh or exchanged confidence, I felt a step closer to earning his trust, an essential foundation for our future relationship. As I reflect on this period of adjustment, I realize the importance of patience and persistence. Building a bond with my stepson has required a balance of gentleness and strength, an ongoing commitment to understanding and empathy. It is a dynamic process, one that evolves with each shared experience and every conversation, no matter how small. In navigating this complex relationship, I remain hopeful and committed, aware that each step forward enriches not only our lives, but the fabric of our newly formed family. Fostering trust in our blended family has required intentional efforts, particularly in connecting with my stepson. It began with understanding his interests, which meant spending time talking about his hobbies and passions. He was passionate about basketball and video games, subjects I knew little about initially. But my willingness to learn and ask questions about his favorite teams and games became the key to many of our early conversations. I made a point to watch some of his basketball games, cheering him on from the sidelines. This gesture was more than just showing up. It was an unspoken statement of my support for him, my commitment to being part of his life. Over time, he began to share more about his experiences and thoughts during these games, opening up about school and his friends. Beyond just being present, I tried to create opportunities for us to do things together that might interest him. This sometimes meant engaging in activities that were out of my comfort zone, like playing video games with him. He would patiently explain the controls and strategies, and these sessions, often filled with laughter and gentle teasing, helped break down walls between us. At home, I encouraged him to have his friends over, showing him that I respected his social life and his need for space within our home. This open-door policy was a way to let him know that his life and his relationships were important and valued, even within the structure of our family life. These efforts at building trust were gradual and filled with learning experiences for both of us. There were days when it felt like we were making great strides, and others where it felt like we took a few steps back. Through it all, my primary focus remained consistent: to show him through actions and words that he could rely on me not just as a parent, but as a supporter and confidant. The process of building trust in any relationship, especially a step-parent and stepchild, is complex and ongoing. It requires patience, understanding, and genuine interest in the other person's well-being. My goal has always been to build a foundation of trust that reinforces our family's resilience and my stepson's confidence in my role in his life. As I reflect on our journey so far, I am reminded of the importance of each small step we take toward each other, each effort to connect and understand, as vital threads in the fabric of our growing relationship. On that particular day, the challenges seemed to mount from the moment I awoke. Work was demanding, with deadlines looming large and meetings lined up back to back, each one requiring my full attention and a level of energy I found hard to muster. The issues were complex, the solutions not readily apparent, and by mid-afternoon, my mental reserves were dwindling. Compounding the work stress was a series of texts and calls about a family matter that needed my attention, a lingering issue that had been a source of tension for weeks. It was one of those days where personal and professional pressures collided, leaving me feeling stretched thin across both fronts. By the time I left the office, the weight of the day's responsibilities hung heavy on my shoulders. The commute home did little to ease my tension, the traffic slow, and the car filled with the relentless buzz of my phone as emails and messages continued to pour in. Each notification felt like a reminder of the myriad tasks waiting for me, each one vying for priority in an already overcrowded list of obligations. Arriving home, the house was quiet, too quiet. The stillness not the sanctuary I needed, but a stark contrast to the noise of my day. I longed for a moment of peace, a break from the demands that had followed me from the office to my living space. The solitude, instead of offering solace, seemed to amplify my isolation, making the day's burdens feel even more insurmountable. Physically exhausted and emotionally spent, I found myself moving mechanically through the evening routine, preparing dinner with little appetite and tidying up in a daze. My body ached from the tension of the day, a physical manifestation of the stress that I couldn't shake off. This fatigue wasn't just from today, but seemed to accumulate from weeks of similar days, each one piling on until I felt buried under the weight of ongoing demands. In moments like these, the reality of my new family dynamics felt particularly poignant. I needed support, a partner to share the load, not just in practical terms, but emotionally too. The day had drained me of my usual resilience and optimism, leaving in their place a tiredness that felt too heavy to lift alone. The need for a connection, for a shared moment of understanding or a comforting word, was never more acute than now, in the quiet aftermath of a long and challenging day. Feeling the aches from the day, I casually mentioned my discomfort during a quiet moment when my stepson and I were sharing how our days went. It was more of an offhand comment, a small attempt to bridge our conversation towards something personal, reflecting the normalcy of life's little trials. My stepson, listening intently, offered a solution that caught me by surprise. He suggested giving me a massage, explaining that he had learned some basic techniques in a health class designed to alleviate muscle tension. His offer was unexpected. Initially, I hesitated, aware of the complexities such intimate gestures could introduce in our still-evolving stepmother-stepson relationship. But seeing his genuine intention to help, combined with my own need for relief from the physical discomfort, I considered his proposal. It was a simple, caring gesture, and recognizing it as an opportunity to strengthen our bond by showing trust in his good intentions, I agreed. The decision to accept his offer brought on a mix of feelings. There was a palpable awkwardness about the situation, given our roles and the usual boundaries they entailed. Yet there was also a comforting aspect to it, a familial exchange of care that I hoped would enrich our understanding and appreciation of one another. It underscored a mutual willingness to support each other in new ways, reflecting a deeper level of trust and comfort that I hoped would continue to grow. This moment felt significant in its simplicity and potential. It represented a step forward in our relationship, an experiment in how we could navigate personal spaces and gestures of affection within the safe confines of family dynamics. As we prepared for the massage, ensuring to keep the setting appropriate and open, I felt a cautious optimism. This could be a way to not only ease the day's physical strain, but also to soften the invisible barriers that sometimes lingered between us, a chance to foster a deeper familial connection through a shared act of kindness. As the massage began, there was an initial sense of awkwardness. Sitting on a chair with a towel draped around my shoulders, I tried to relax, focusing on the relief this might bring. My stepson's approach was professional, his movements hesitant at first as he warmed up to the task. His intent was clearly to help, to offer some respite from the physical stress that had built up over a demanding day. The feeling of his hands pressing firmly against my shoulders brought a sudden awareness of our physical proximity. It was an unusual context for us, far removed from our usual interactions of passing dishes across the dinner table or discussing mundane details of household chores. Here, in this quiet setting, the dynamic felt entirely different, a shared moment that straddled the delicate line between familial care and personal space. His efforts to alleviate the knots in my muscles were met with gratitude, yet I couldn't fully shake the awareness of his hands moving over my back. It was a strange juxtaposition, feeling the comfort of the massage while simultaneously being acutely conscious of every contact, every press and release. This dual sensation underscored the complexity of our new familial bond, highlighting the nuances of comfort and boundary that we were still navigating. Throughout the process, I found myself reflecting on the significance of trust and openness in our relationship. This scenario, unplanned as it was, tested the waters of our growing understanding and mutual respect. It was a practical demonstration of his willingness to contribute to my well-being, and my acceptance of his gesture spoke to my trust in him as a stepson and as a young adult capable of empathy and care. As the massage continued, I could feel the tension beginning to ebb from my shoulders, a physical loosening that seemed to mirror a mental and emotional relaxation. There was comfort in this new level of interaction, a silent acknowledgement that our relationship could include this kind of support, this kind of unspoken understanding. It was a step forward, albeit a tentative one, in defining the contours of our evolving relationship, a dance of closeness and respect for each other's comfort zones. Realizing the discomfort and the potential misstep in our interaction, I knew it was important to gently halt the massage. The decision was made not out of dissatisfaction with his effort or concern for his feelings, but rather a sudden, clear understanding of the need to maintain appropriate boundaries. It was crucial to handle the situation with care, ensuring that my reaction did not convey any disapproval of his intent, which was genuinely aimed at providing relief from physical discomfort. As I thanked him for his kindness and the relief he had provided, I explained that I needed a moment to stretch and take a break. This approach allowed me to ease out of the massage without creating an awkward situation or making him feel rejected. I was mindful of his feelings, recognizing his effort to help and not wanting to diminish his generous gesture. In the space that followed, I took some time to reflect on how we could continue to build our relationship on a foundation of mutual respect and understanding, without crossing lines that could lead to discomfort. It was an important moment for self-reflection, to consider how future interactions could be structured to avoid similar situations. This reflection was not only about setting limits, but also about fostering an environment where both of us felt comfortable expressing our boundaries. Navigating this new realization, I saw an opportunity to reinforce our communication about each other's comfort levels. It was an essential part of living together and learning about each other's preferences and limits. I recognized that this moment could serve as a catalyst for a deeper discussion about respect and personal space, topics that are vital in any family, but especially in a step-family dynamic, where roles and boundaries are often still being defined. This incident highlighted the importance of open dialogue and the need to continuously negotiate personal boundaries in a respectful and understanding manner. It underscored the complexity of step-family relationships and the ongoing need for patience and empathy from both sides. As we moved forward, I felt prepared to handle these challenges with a renewed commitment to clear communication and mutual respect, ensuring that both our needs and comfort were addressed. After halting the massage, the air was filled with a palpable tension, though not of the negative sort. It was more a mutual recognition that we had ventured into a gray area, one that necessitated a thoughtful retreat to more familiar ground. It was essential for me to frame the conversation in a way that maintained the dignity of both parties involved. I expressed appreciation for his intent to alleviate my discomfort, highlighting that his actions were understood in the spirit of care they were meant to convey. As we moved away from the physical closeness of the massage, I took it as an opportunity to articulate thoughts on boundaries within our relationship. I explained the importance of maintaining a certain level of decorum that respected our individual roles within the family structure. This discussion was not a reprimand, but a dialogue aimed at fostering a deeper understanding of mutual respect and consideration. The exchange allowed us to explore the nature of our interactions and how they might be perceived differently by each of us. It was a learning moment that I approached with openness, encouraging him to share his thoughts and feelings about the situation as well. This reciprocal communication ensured that he did not feel admonished, but rather involved in a mutual conversation about expectations and comfort levels. Our conversation underscored the nuanced complexities of our relationship, a stepmother and stepson navigating the delicate balance of familial roles and personal boundaries. It was an affirmation of our commitment to maintaining a healthy, respectful relationship, one that prioritizes the emotional well-being of all family members. By addressing the issue directly and respectfully, we laid the groundwork for future interactions to be built on a clearer understanding of each other's comfort zones. This moment of candidness would hopefully serve as a foundation for continued trust and openness, characteristics vital to the strength and health of our evolving family dynamics. After our conversation, I spent some time alone, processing the day's events and the complexities they unearthed. The quiet of the evening provided a backdrop for deep reflection on the nuances of the interaction and the emotions it stirred within me. My thoughts circled around the delicate balance we were striving to achieve in our stepfamily, where each gesture and word carried weight beyond its immediate context. During this introspection, I wrestled with a mix of feelings. There was a residual discomfort from the closeness of the massage, juxtaposed against the appreciation for the genuine intent behind the gesture. These conflicting emotions were a testament to the complicated nature of human relationships, particularly within the dynamics of a family that was still in the process of defining itself. I considered the conversation that followed the massage, replaying our exchange and evaluating whether I had communicated effectively. Had I been clear in expressing my appreciation for his kindness while also setting necessary boundaries? It was crucial for me to ensure that the incident didn't create a rift or misunderstanding between us. The balance between maintaining open lines of communication and establishing clear boundaries was delicate, and I hoped I had managed to strike the right note. There was also a sense of responsibility that weighed on me, a reminder of my role as a stepmother to guide and nurture, but also to set examples of setting and respecting boundaries. This incident had highlighted the need for ongoing dialogue about what was acceptable in our interactions, a conversation that was essential not just for the present, but for laying the groundwork for our future relationship. Additionally, I felt a renewed commitment to fostering an environment where both of us felt comfortable expressing our feelings and boundaries. It was important to create a space where such conversations could occur without fear of judgment or reproach, a space where we could both learn and grow from each experience. This period of reflection was not just about processing the incident, but also about learning from it. It was an opportunity to reaffirm my commitment to the complex, rewarding journey of building a blended family grounded in mutual respect, understanding, and care. As I moved forward, I felt equipped with a deeper insight into the emotional landscape of our family, ready to navigate its challenges with empathy and resilience. In deciding to address the issue directly with my stepson, my main objective was to ensure clarity and prevent any awkwardness from lingering between us. It was imperative to approach the conversation with sensitivity and care, aiming to preserve his feelings and our relationship. I wanted to communicate that while I valued his gesture of care, it was also important to mutually recognize and respect personal boundaries. This decision to speak openly stemmed from my belief in the power of communication to resolve misunderstandings and strengthen relationships. It was a testament to the trust and rapport we had gradually built that I felt confident in our ability to discuss such a sensitive topic. My approach was to be honest yet gentle, ensuring that he understood my perspective without feeling criticized or embarrassed. During our discussion, I emphasized the importance of transparency and respect in all interactions, not just within our home, but in all aspects of life. I expressed my appreciation for his intentions, but highlighted the need for both of us to feel comfortable with the nature of our interactions. This was a learning moment for both of us, an opportunity to understand each other's comfort levels better. I also took this opportunity to reaffirm my support for him, stressing that my role was to provide guidance and support as he navigated his way through teenage years and into adulthood. This reassurance was crucial in maintaining the balance between guidance and personal autonomy, allowing him to feel supported, yet free to express his individuality. The conversation ultimately served as a foundational moment for our relationship, one that reinforced our mutual respect and understanding. It was a demonstration of our commitment to maintaining a healthy, open dialogue as we continued to navigate the complexities of our blended family dynamics. By addressing the issue directly and thoughtfully, we were able to turn a potentially uncomfortable situation into a strengthening of our familial bonds. The resolution of our conversation brought a sense of closure and a deeper mutual understanding that was both relieving and enlightening. It underscored the importance of having clear, open channels of communication, which is vital in any relationship, but especially in a stepfamily where roles and expectations can often be misunderstood or unspoken. Through this experience, I gained valuable insights into the delicate balance required in step-parenting, balancing kindness and care with the necessary boundaries that respect both personal space and the unique dynamics of our family structure. It was a reminder of the constant navigation required in blending a family where each member brings their own expectations and emotional backgrounds. Reflecting on the incident, I recognized the growth that had occurred not just in my relationship with my stepson, but also within myself. I learned more about my own boundaries and how to communicate them effectively. This situation also taught me about the resilience of our family bonds and the strength that comes from facing and discussing uncomfortable issues head-on. Moving forward, I felt a renewed sense of commitment to fostering an environment where open and honest communication is the norm, not the exception. I was more aware of the need to proactively discuss and define what is acceptable within our family, ensuring that everyone feels comfortable and respected. This episode reinforced my belief in the importance of continuous dialogue and the need to regularly revisit and discuss family dynamics. It highlighted the ongoing process of relationship building within a stepfamily, which requires patience, understanding, and a willingness to adapt and grow together. As I looked ahead, I was confident that the lessons learned from this experience would help guide us through future challenges and opportunities. I was committed to using this knowledge to strengthen our bonds and ensure that our home remained a place where each family member felt valued, understood, and supported in every aspect of our shared lives.